Hey, what's going on, everybody? Who'll be 186 back again with another video. This is a video response to Gaming, frogboyx1Gaming. I follow this dude on Twitter and YouTube. I don't agree with a lot of his takes, but I think he seems like a nice guy, so I decided to follow him. And he made a video titled I'm loosely titled, "Does Game Pass lower your expectations?" And before I address him, let me just give a quick shout out to the Overrated Podcast. Me and Traditionalist 101. We normally do the podcast. We have a big podcast tomorrow. The only major issue that we might have right now is that there's a huge soccer match tomorrow. Inter Miami is going to be their first playoff game, and I do want to watch it, uninterrupted. I do watch it uninterrupted. I want to watch it uninterrupted. So we have to figure out kind of like when to do the podcast. I know he works early in the morning, so so a later podcast would hurt him. So we'll try to figure things out. But the Overrated Podcast tomorrow, Monday, either it'll be on super early or super late. I don't know. We're still trying to figure that out. But on to the video, right? So Frogboy Gaming, he was pretty much asking the question, does Game Pass lower your expectation of games, right? Now, full disclosure, I have Game Pass. I have an Xbox. I have an Xbox Series S, and I have and pretty much outside of probably like a couple games, every other game I have through Game Pass, right? So Tunic, Midnight Fight Express. I'm earlier on with those games. Obviously I have Halo. I actually just recently beat Forza Horizon 5, the game that he was playing in the background. So I have Game Pass, right? And I guess to answer his question, I have to kind of like go through my expectations, right? And what I do. I don't play games just to play games. Right? That's very important to put that out there. Right? So for example, if there is a game that comes out on PlayStation Plus, right? They have their Plus program, something that I've used for a long time. Still a subscriber to PlayStation Plus, right? If a game comes out and I'm not interested in said game, I'm not even gonna bother to try it out. Right? I don't play games for the sake of playing games. I play the game that I'm interested in playing or the game that I want to play. Right? So for someone like me, I go through the Game Pass lineup and I look through it, and obviously not every game on there are bad games. We had tons of great games on there, but these are all games that I've already played or games that I have no interest in playing, right? And some people, it varies from person to person, right? It varies from person to person. My taste in gaming is definitely not your taste in gaming. It doesn't even, you could be the best of friends. If you're always gonna have at least some games that you rather play than others, right? That just common sense, right? So for Frogboy Gaming, he sees it as kind of like a luxury, and it absolutely is, right? I think he mentioned this. I know he mentioned this in the past, but Game Pass being the best deal in gaming, that's absolutely, in my opinion, is true. I think it is, right? It absolutely is the best deal in gaming. The best value for your buck in gaming. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. But if you're gonna sit there and subscribe to a subscription service, and you're going to sit around and play all these games on the service, and then you're going to tell me that the service doesn't lower your expectation for some of these games, you're lying to yourself. It has to. It has to, cause at the end of the day, okay, all right. So look at Scorn. Scorn just came out this week, right? The game on Metacritic last time I checked was a 71, right? And to my surprise, it's a puzzle game. I thought it was gonna be one of these like first-person RPGs, but apparently it's just a puzzle game. Me personally, I ain't playing that shit. Frankly, I wasn't gonna play it as a first-person RPG. Scorn never, ever interested me to play the game. For me, at least for me, never interested me to play the game. Had no interest. I'm not gonna play it, right? But there's a lot of people who played it and have enjoyed it, and pretty much some of them said that they enjoy it. And I don't know how genuine they are, but if they say they enjoy it, they say they enjoy it, right? Now, let me ask you guys a question. Would you guys have done the same thing for $60? $70? No, I don't think so. So obviously it lowers your expectation onto those games. Because I guarantee you, there's a lot of people, when they saw that Metacritic score, were gonna be like, I don't know about this game. You know what I mean? And the fact that a lot of people were stunned by what the game actually is. I mean, I don't know if no one did any previews on the game. You know what I mean? If people had the level of heads up onto this game and found out what it was, I don't know if people would be playing that game. But with Game Pass, it allows you the access to that game, right? And the thing is that I see so many Xbox gamers, right? And they say this all the time. Hey, it's on Game Pass, so I'll give it a try. You know what I mean? Hey, it's on, I'll give it a try. That's what they say. When you say that, you are literally lowering your expectations on Game Pass. That based on Game Pass. It absolutely is true. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it's something that I personally wouldn't do. Like I said before, if a game sucks, a game sucks. I ain't playing a game if it sucks. If I, unless I get paid to do it. And since I'm not getting paid to play bad games, I don't play bad games. That's just me, though. Now, the other question that he asked, and I don't know if he realized it or not, the other question that he asked is, does Game Pass devalue the quality of the games? And that, to me, is something that we're not going to know for several years. Because, like you said, Microsoft, we still really haven't seen the fruits of their labor when it comes to the studios that they bought. We really don't. Like, obviously, the Activision deal is not done. The ZeniMax deal is done, but we still, we're just now reaching the beginning stages of their work under Microsoft, under the Microsoft banner, right? But I can only look to a game like Halo as an example of what potentially could be a bad thing, right? Now, this is the first Halo game, I believe, under the Game Pass banner that came out on Game Pass, right? And me personally, I like the game a lot. My issues with the game are, one, when it comes to story, I have no opinion on the story mode. Never played it, never touched it. Like I don't care about Halo like that. I just like the multiplayer. And outside of the progression system, which is not good, and there was something else about the game I didn't like. I don't remember. But outside of the progression system, progression system, other than that, I really like the game. But the scrutiny surrounding Halo Infinite is undeniable. You have Halo fans up and down, like I'm looking at Halo fans up and down YouTube talking about the issues that the game has, their issues with the game, you have all this internal strife going on inside the studio. Obviously, the development of the game was troubled, and I wonder if this game was at a premium price of $70, of $60, $70, whatever, would you have gotten more bang for your buck instead of what we got was a AAA game trying to be a games as a service. A games as a service disguised as a $70 game. Which is what we got with Halo Infinite. Now, mind you, still agree. I like the game a lot. But that is unfortunately what the game became. And I do wonder, would you have gotten more content? Would you have gotten a more fleshed out, experience with Halo if it was full price and not beholden to a subscription service? Those are the questions that you have to ask. Now, that doesn't mean that the quality of the games are going to be lowered because of Game Pass. It's just something that you have to think about. Because when you have a cheaper level of entry, could mean, you don't put as much work into the game. You could be like, oh, well, we can finish this some other time. They pretty much get it for free, so they shouldn't be complaining. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that happens, but I'm saying that what would you say? The likelihood of that happening absolutely increases. Just like how patches and just like how day one patches has kind of become the norm when it comes to console gaming now, right? It gives developers an opportunity to announce a release date and continuously try to fix the game, before the game hits the streets. So again, as far as so to break it up, finish everything off. Do I think that Game Pass lowers people's expectations on games? It has to. For a dollar. Yeah, it has to. It has to lower your expectations. You know what I'm saying? Because you have access to these games for for nothing. At entry level price of Game Pass. And if you want to play a game that people are talking about, which is unfortunately the in vogue thing in when it comes to gaming and social media nowadays. Yeah, if you got opportunity to play the game for a couple hours, get a feel of the game, is right there. A game that you probably would, if it's a game that you would not pay for, then yeah, it's a game that you're literally lowering your expectations on the game. Yeah, it's just as simple as that. If you're not willing to spend money on the game, then you're lowering your expectations by playing the game. If you're not willing to spend money, you don't want to play the game. Period. Or you have no interest. It's different. It's a big difference between not having money and having the money but not wanting to play the game. There's a big difference. So when it comes to that, it has to lower your expectation. But that's not a bad thing. And the other question, will Game Pass lower the quality of games moving forward? That's something that we're gonna have to wait a long time to see. A long time to see. Like I said, I look at the Halo Infinite example, but and conversely, you look at Forza Horizon 5, phenomenal game. To me, it's leagues better than Forza Horizon 4. At the same time, some would argue they're reusing DLC ideas from Forza Horizon 4 when it comes to the Hot Wheels. We've seen that already. It would be nice to see something different, something unique. But like I said, overall the game's fantastic. So there really is nothing to complain about. But we have to wait to see how Hellblade 2 does, right? We have to wait till we see what Activision is under when it's under Microsoft, right? There's still tons of studios that still have to make their games in order to see the effect of Game Pass when it comes to game quality. So we still have years to wait for to answer that question. So, on that note, I'm gonna be done. Like I said before, if you follow me, give Frogboy a follow. I'll have the link to his video and his Twitter on the bottom of the video when I get a chance. Like I know I keep saying that, I keep forgetting, but I'm going to do it. So give him a follow. Give the video a try. Watch the video if you haven't. Anyway, this is Subi186. I'm out. Peace.